Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this is yet another edition of my For My Students video series, and this one is going to go out to Christy Jaredson. And if I have mispronounced your name, I am terribly sorry. You can let me know in the comments below. I don't think I have, though. But anyway, you had asked me if I was going to do a 3800th video. In other words, I was going to have a video up on my YouTube channel. The title of it was going to be my 3800th video. There is a reason why I'm not going to do this, and here it is. Are you ready? I have count them, three YouTube channels. I don't just have one anymore. I actually have three of them. We have the main one, which you're watching right now. We also have, I also have the Speed Learner Instagram Reviews channel and also the Speed Learner Plus channel. Now, the Speed Learner Plus channel was originally going to be a pay-per-view service. In other words, you were going to subscribe to the channel and you're going to pay a monthly fee and you're going to watch premium videos from me. What happened was I discovered that I had to acquire 1,000 subscribers to that particular channel in order for it to become a premium service. So what I did, and what I'm continuing to do, is add videos to that channel that are response videos, Instagram reviews, so on and so forth, so that I can get 1,000 subscribers to that particular channel. And then once I do, I'm going to move all those videos to my Speed Learner Instagram Reviews channel, and then that one's going to become a premium service. I'll move my medical terminology over there. I'll move the key is logic over there. I actually have a second Kindle book in the works. It is entitled The Artificial Frontal Lobe. Crazy Josh Cravey has previewed this book. It's almost done. It hopefully will be on the air either by Easter or possibly sometime this summer. I don't know. I'll have to let you know when I get it all done. Okay? But it is coming, and it will be a premium book. You'll have to buy it, of course. But if you were subscribed to my premium channel, you would just get it automatically and you wouldn't have to pay anything extra for it. Okay? See what I mean? Alright, so let's get into our next topic. There are three topics on this particular video. That is the first one. The second one, as I mentioned before, there is this gentleman by the name of Andy Pudser. You remember that name? I've mentioned his name more than once. Okay, this gentleman by the name of Andy Pudser. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Hardee's Corporation. He almost became the Secretary of Labor to Donald Trump. And I was so hoping he wouldn't, and thankfully he didn't. And that is because he has full plans to replace all front-end clerks in his restaurants with either kiosks or a smartphone app. Okay? And he's not the only one trying to do this. McDonald's has plans to do the same thing. But here's the kick. The Wendy's restaurants has just announced that they're going to deploy 1,000 kiosks and a smartphone app so that when you order from the Wendy's restaurants, you'll be ordering either by kiosk or by smartphone. There will be nobody up front. And that is no joke. That is exactly what they're intending to do. Now then, the third and final thing that I'm going to discuss on this particular YouTube video has to do with parametric functions and the Bezier curve. As you can see here, this is a representation of the Bezier curve here. Now, the reason I'm going to discuss this, I talked about this, I actually discussed this in a previous video, but I forgot to mention something. This here is a tangent line. Now, do you remember what I told you about tangent lines? They meet curves and circles at exactly one point. Okay, so this is a tangent line here, this is a tangent line here, and if you keep extending these out, and I'm going to show you this, if you keep extending these out, these particular two tangent lines are going to meet at a single point. See that? Okay? And that's why I'm mentioning all this. because it further clarifies how you're going to calculate the Bezier curve based on this. Now, what happens here is that this particular tangent line, each one of these points, see, this curve is formed by points, and these points are tangent points. That's what they are. They are tangent points. Okay? And what you do is you alter this particular tangent line so it meets this curve at these particular points. And this particular point right here, this intersection point, and I drew this very poorly, I'm sorry, but this intersection point over here is on, I wouldn't call it the y-axis as far as that's concerned, but this is the vertex right here of this particular curve, and that vertex meets this point if you draw a straight line through both, and that's what you're going to come up with here. See what I mean? And do you now see how important it is to know that not only is this here a tangent line, but also this here is a tangent line as well, because this line meets this curve, and this is a parabola curve here. It meets it at exactly one point. You see why that's so important? Apollonius covered this. Descartes covered this. Euclid covered this. And you need to know all this. And that's why I'm telling you all this. So now parametric functions and Bezier curves make a lot more sense, at least on a geometric scale. All right, now for the specific calculations, I will do a follow-up video on that, and we'll go into that in greater detail in a future video, so I want you to stay tuned for that. I will tell you that right now I am making full plans to go to Carthage, Illinois this year. I will also be going to Galesburg and to Dallas City. It's all going to be one trip. I'm going to go up to Galesburg first, to Dallas City next, and then all the way down to Carthage. I would also stop off at Nauvoo, except they have a whole village that I want to videotape. And by the time I get done videotaping Galesburg and Dallas City and everything in Carthage, and yes, there's a lot to videotape in Carthage as well, by the time I do all that, I'm not going to have time to go through Nauvoo and go through that village and videotape that sign. I wish I did. I really wish I would have that kind of time, but I just don't. So we're just going to have to kind of cut that short. We'll have to make another trip at some other point. And then there you go. Now, I have heard that there are new Lincoln signs. These are looking for Lincoln wayside markers. As you know, I've been trying to find them. That's why I'm going to take this particular trip. I've heard there's new ones in Jacksonville, Illinois. There's actually one new one in Jacksonville. There are two in Lewistown. And I have heard about this, and if I ever get a chance to go out to Jacksonville and get the next sign, or to Lewistown and get their signs, I'll happily do so. There actually is a sign in Mount Pulaski that I have not gotten yet, and you can find that inside the Mount Pulaski Museum. Okay, there's a museum in town, and inside the museum is a Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition wayside marker. I have not acquired that at all. I hope to acquire that soon. Okay, so now you know all these little details. I thank you very much for tuning in. I know this is awful lot to cover in a very short video, but I thought you should know about all this stuff. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video, so I would like for you to stay tuned.